PK. Yeah, so I visited Pakistan twice and I got to know the culture. I got to know the place because I was there for quite a few months. Ooh, I visited Lahore, Islamabad, Murree, Bourbon, Gujarat, Kusur. There's a village called Kusur. I went to the border between India and Pakistan, the Wagda border. I think that's pretty much it. I had a very nice experience. I got to see a lot of stuff. I got to see a lot of wealth, and I got to see a lot of poverty as well, and a lot of in between. I kind of saw, I feel like I saw everything. I saw the way they lived in villages, top hotels, how people live who are very wealthy. I feel like I saw more than I did actually in Iran, so that was interesting. It was the first time I visited a country like that was that far east, because I think I'd only been to Turkey by then. I was preparing for the worst, to be honest. It was different to what I thought, in a positive way. So before I went to Pakistan, wow, I heard so many bad things. People were like, "You're going to Pakistan? Are you kidding me?" Or, "Oh, don't go there, it's too dangerous, you can't go." What else did I hear? "Oh my God, you know, there's so many bombs over there, terrorists." Yeah, I heard like all the negative things, and then saw lots of negative things on the media. Even the name Pakistan, I'd always perceived it negatively. I was a little bit, I wasn't scared. I was just, I felt prepared, I think. Because I heard all the stuff people were saying. I tried to speak to people who were from Pakistan or had been there. And so I felt inside like I was prepared if I saw something negative to see a bomb or something. The people I knew who were from there, I trusted them. They said I was going to be okay, so I believed that. And it wasn't in a naive way. It was just that I thought, wait a minute, there's like how many millions of people living there? They're okay. But I definitely heard more negative things from people than anything before going, that's for sure. I remember once a bomb went off. It wasn't so close to where I was. It was a few miles away at least. I think it was the only time anything like that happened. There were a few other incidents that happened, but I remember the day that bomb happened, a woman came to us who worked for this family, and she was upset, you know, because she knew some people in that area that were injured. I felt really bad for her, of course, but it didn't scare me though. I don't know why. Because I was seeing everyday life there. I went out every day. I met lots of people. People came to see me. I went to see people, and everything was like normal. People have a very good sense of humor over there, and they take things very lightly. So like nobody was in great panic or anything like that. So maybe that's what helped me. Be like, okay, we have to take a few extra precautions, but still, you know, it's all fine. Not many people carry guns there, and the only people that had guns were like major security. You could sense that it was just they had the gun on them because they wanted to give that impression that, oh, I'm important kind of thing. It wasn't like they were gonna shoot you or anything like that. The guns that they had on them probably had not been used for 10 years or something. So even though I saw a few things here and there, I wasn't like, I probably have seen more guns in the UK because at the airport they've got these big, you know, and I feel like they would use it more than somebody in Pakistan. Yeah, I felt safe. Isn't that weird? I felt safe. I did. Well, as I said, I met all different kinds of people. And they were so nice, quite inquisitive. And they wanted to find out where I was from, what I was all about and things. You know, they're a little bit shy. A little bit shy compared to Iranians, because Iranians are very forward and, you know. But Pakistani people are a little bit reserved. But once they trust you, they let you in and everything's fine. And then they're not bad to you or anything like that. They're fine. They treated me very nicely. But I could see a difference. The longer I stayed there, the more they felt like I was part of their social group, part of their family, you know. I also met children, and oh my God, they were so nice. I love the children. They're just so cute. I'd always hold them and play with them, and they're so sweet, and they were so curious about me. I'd buy them gifts, and they're just so lovely. People in Pakistan are just normal people, and they go about their lives like anybody else. The only thing I'd say is that they have a very, very good sense of humor, and they're also very loving people, and they're very, very family orientated. City people are very different from villagers, people who live out in the villages. They're very, very different. Like here in the UK, it's the same practically. Just people are maybe a little bit more friendlier in the villages. There, it's quite different. What I can say about Lahori people is that they also have a big influence from the West. They try, like the younger generation especially, they're quite modern. They dress more modern as well. They still have that really nice connection to their families. They respect their elders. It's just really nice. They have a lot of respect for people in general, and education is obviously very important there. And granny and granddad usually live there. Aunties and uncles come visit all the time. And also the religion. So the religion isn't forced upon people in Pakistan as it is in other countries. But I find that more people choose to be a Muslim there. Or choose to be religious in general, because there is a small Christian population as well. And they're very, very religious. It's strange to see that, because we see Christians in the UK and they say they're Christian, but they don't really practice. But there, the Christians are actual Christians. You know, they go to church, they do everything that they're supposed to do. So therefore, it's more pleasurable for them to be religious. You can't really, I don't know if it's actually understand it without actually going to countries where it's forced and where it's not forced, but are both classed as Muslim countries. Their English is actually quite good, but because I think they've got the British history going on, so that's why I found that majority of people spoke English, and we managed, yeah. Okay. The food for me was a little bit difficult because they have very, very nice food, amazing food. But because I didn't eat meat, majority of their food, everything is based around meat in that country, and oil and rice and things like that. It's all very tasty for sure, but if you don't eat meat, I found it a little bit challenging. But I was around other people who ate a lot of meat and they were very, very happy with the situations. Yeah, and I struggled with salads. Like when I went to a restaurant or I wanted to get a salad, they give me pasta with mayonnaise or something with mayonnaise, and that's not really a salad. Like in my eyes, a salad is lettuce, tomato, cucumber, like something fresh with lemon juice or something on it. They didn't have that concept. I don't know why. Anyway, I started making salads for people there, and they're like, wow, this is so good. I'm like, well, yeah, why did you not eat it? You've got amazing produce. That's one thing. The fruits and the vegetables are out of this world. Probably the best I've tasted out of the whole world. Like really amazing. And I don't know why they don't make use of all of that, because it's so good. They just like to cook things to death. They really, really love to like cook it a lot. And and I'm used to like having a lot of fresh things, cooking things for 10 minutes or something, not like 5 hours or whatever. So that's the only thing. I struggled a bit with the food, but when I did have the rice or the bread or what's that called? There's this bread they call roti, and then they have like a filling in the middle. I cannot remember the name, what it is. Oh, paratha, that's what it is. Anyway, so I'd have that with spinach in the middle, and I learned how to make them. And so I was okay. I eventually adapted, but I definitely, like when it was watermelon season, I'd have lots and lots of watermelons. When it was orange season or apple season, I'd make apple juice, orange juice. Yeah, I had lots of mangoes, and oh, it was so good. Like their stuff is amazing. The cooking side of things, because I have quite a limited diet in their eyes, But they were so nice to me. You know, whenever I went to people's houses, they'd say, okay, right, you don't need this, okay, right. You know, they'd always try and accommodate. They were so nice, really. I appreciated that. It's just, I'm talking generally when you go to a restaurant or something like that, is that it was a little bit difficult for me. But I actually taught a lot of people there my kind of diet, and they were really liking that. I made them nice desserts. I made them lots of salad things and stews, and they loved it. Oh yeah, and I got a huge watermelon. I used to buy watermelons like this size, like half my body size, that were delicious. The best watermelon I've tasted in my whole life. And it came to like £1.50, like $2 something, you know. It was amazing. So good. I just lived off watermelon most of the time. It was so nice. Okay, so if you plan to go to Pakistan, I recommend taking a painkiller. I never had to use most of the stuff, but this is just in case, okay? I would take painkillers like paracetamol or whatever you call it in other countries. A few packets of painkillers, ibuprofen, like an anti-inflammatory, just to have, because the thing is we're used to what we're used to at home. So, and especially the doses and things like that, you don't want to go to another country. And that's the same for any other country, actually, because when I go abroad, I take, and no matter which country it is, I do take these things with me anyway. But particularly in this country, I wanted to take my own stuff. I knew somebody that went with me that took antibiotics, but she never used it. That was just extra precautions. Okay, take charcoal tablets. That was a lifesaver for me because I'm not used to oily food or very, very spicy food or buying things at the side of the road. And I didn't take, oh yeah, that's another thing. I didn't have any vaccinations before going. I didn't have any malaria. I didn't have anything before going. So that's the thing. The charcoal actually really helped me. So whenever I ate something, I felt, I'm getting an upset stomach or something, I'll quickly take a few charcoal and it would help. It would like get rid of whatever it was. So that was like a lifesaver for me. You know the little packets of tissues that you get, the Kleenex? I always had one of them in my bag. Because in a lot of places, they don't really have toilet paper. So, or just when you need paper for whatever, like, you know, you've got it in your bag. Well, okay, I use homeopathic remedies for other things. If you're into that, you can get that, but otherwise it's not necessary. So I took a lot of stuff with me and I ended up wearing none of it. I ended up buying everything there. So you feel like you want to fit in and wear their beautiful dresses. So I ended up wearing a few and it was so comfortable. Oh my God, so comfortable. And I thought once I wore one, I was like, I'm going to be wearing these while I'm here. They're so comfortable and they're so beautiful as well. Yeah, you don't have to wear the headscarf when you're outside, so you don't have to worry about that. I just wore it out of respect in certain areas, so and you kind of pick up the vibe. So dress code. Well, as I said, there isn't really... You can actually dress in anything you want there, as long as you're not naked. Really, it's not like Iran, where it's like a law to dress in a certain way. In Pakistan, you can dress as you want. You just pick up the vibe of the culture and the people. You know when it's appropriate to wear certain things. I just felt more comfortable when I wore their dresses and when I was more covered up. Because when I was more revealed, like say I wore the dress and no trousers underneath or tights or anything, I could sense people looking at me and things. And so it's just best to cover up a little bit. But it's up to you how you dress. And men, there's no... It's the same. I definitely really loved the people. Loved their sense of humor, really. It just... Even though a lot of the time there was a language barrier, the humor that came through just made me feel at ease. I loved the fruit. I loved the fruit. Even the vegetables are so tasty. It's like the apples there are 50% more delicious than they are here. And oranges, everything tastes so nice. I loved how everything was so cheap. Oh, the weather in winter was so good. It was just perfect, actually. I learned that you can't judge. That was my first real experience of going somewhere and seeing something completely different. I learned at that point that you can't take the media seriously. You can't believe everything you see on the media or read. I learned that you can be happy with pretty much nothing. Because the people that were poor there were very, very poor. And they were the happiest people I've ever met in my life. They were so happy. Pakistani people are genuinely happy people. Really. I would say the more poor they were, the happier they were. well, not the more poor they were, but as I could see that the richer ones were probably the least unhappy because they were following the West and the way we are in the UK and the US, and that was making them more unhappy because it was all singular. They don't realize their culture is so special and something to be appreciated. The culture is just, I mean, it does have its cons as well, but overall I think it's a very good thing. Keeps them together. I definitely think other people should visit, for sure, because there's a lot to see. It's a good place, and it's very interesting, and it's very, very beautiful. The further north you go as well, with the mountains near the Himalayas, it's really stunning. And actually, because not many people visit Pakistan as tourists, it's very pristine. There's a lot of untouched areas, so that's really nice to see. A lot of unexpected things, I'd say. Yeah, I just want to say that don't be scared to visit Pakistan. Preferably contact some people that are there or that you know from your country and speak to them about it. Maybe they can set you up. I mean, if you do your research and you stay away from the Western areas, then I think you'll be fine.